Chapter 23, Dating. School was still really awkward after the kiss. Sarah and I had talked and came and agreed that we wouldn't talk about it afterwards. She was still the sleep monster on the bus, and I was still the new kid at school, and Jay and Kylie were still frustratingly adorable in the class halls and generally anywhere they went. And Sean was silently plotting to rule the world via the internet someday. Tony didn't make it better either. He wasn't as bold with his bullshit after the dance fight, but every now and then he and his buddies would backpack me in the hospital. For the privileged few of you who don't know what backpacking is, it's when two high school predators single out their prey while walking in the halls. Then they time their walk by perfectly, so you have to walk through the two of them. They then turn at the last minute and slam their backpacks into you, pretending not to have noticed you there. The last one I received was in grade 7 when I was a freshman in middle school, and it was just as juvenile then as it was now. I wanted to be mad at Tony after hearing what was all behind his sucker punches and BS, but really I was just sad for him and sad for Cynthia. But still pretty happy that the kiss happened after the kiss happened at all, even with the awkwardness between me and Sarah. After first class one day, Jay pulled me out of my floor-staring route to the next class and pointed out that Sean was getting spoken to by our homeroom teacher, Mr. Loxey. He looked bored but respectfully engaged with their comments and questions. It was impossible to tell what he was thinking, but when the second bell rang, they let him go and we risked getting yelled at by Loxey, who was still in the room, to find out what happened. They shut down the apparatus, Sean said, showing the inside of his locker, now empty of moving parts and the money that he had been getting from the student body. Did you really think it would last? I asked. Well, of course, Sean protested. How much money did you make? Jay asked. Not quite enough for a new graphics card for my PC, he said. Still worth it. We all laughed and went to class. It was hard to comprehend the volume of disposable income that must exist in a school. Not everyone was paying Sean's locker casino, but he still did well enough. Sean treated us to Mexi fries off his casino winnings at lunch, and Jay and Sarah had joined us at the usual table. Have you applied to any colleges yet? Sean asked. I swallowed a forkful of Mexi fries before answering. Yeah, haven't heard anything yet, though. I got 3 out there. Sent my application for MIT a month ago, and I got an email saying that it was under review. My safety schools suck, so I really hope I get it. You're going to Michigan, Jay said? How are you going to fix my computer when you're in Michigan? First off, it's Massachusetts, and second, it's called Rent-A-Geek, Jay. This guy needs to invent the next Facebook and buy an island somewhere to begin my world takeover, Sean said. What about you, Sarah? Any plans? Yes, she said, but you won't find out till I have them in place. Ah, secret agent, Jay joked. I knew it. Next thing you know, she'll be gone, and there'll be men in black suits and SUVs knocking on our doors about her whereabouts. Or your browser history, Sarah joked back. Sean beamed as if that was a questionably dark secret with a badge of honor or something. What about prom? You guys going? Sean asked. Kylie answered for Jay. Yes, I picked up my dress and he got this handsome man his tux rented. They do prom in Toronto, right, Chris? They call it grad at my school, but it's the same thing. They usually rent a hall and throw a big dance party. It's the lamest way to celebrate your entry into adulthood, but hey, still a free party, I explained. When you asking Chris to the prom here, Sarah? Jay asked, and she and I flashed quick glances at each other, and she blurted out, I wasn't going to go. For which I was thankful. Our strange relationship status didn't need to be the table topic, especially for Mexi fries. You have to go, Kylie whined. No, Jay has to go, because he's your boyfriend, she argued. I don't have a boyfriend, and I do not have to go. She looked straight at me. This is me saying no before you ask. Prom does not sound fun this year. She may have said no, but her eyes said something entirely different. There's too much intention behind them, and too much left hanging to adequately discuss over a cafeteria table. So we joked and finished our meager meal and headed for afternoon class. I caught up with Sarah between classes to ask her what was up. So, no before I even ask? That's not really friendly, I said quietly beside her locker. She switched books between classes. You know how I feel about it, Chris. Prom's going to be just going to complicate that, she said. It's still going to be fun, I argued. Yeah, it will be, and you never get hurt doing safe things like reading a book. You get hurt doing fun things like jumping out of a plane. There's no parachutes for relationships, she said. As a resident expert on fun, dangerous things like skateboarding, I think you're overthinking this a bit, I said. Maybe, she said. But right now, I don't want this to get any better or worse. I'm looking for stability before my world gets turned upside down. So if you ask me, I'm going to say no. And you of all people should know what happens when you skateboard around here. It was fun. Was it as fun as it was dangerous? Or did you just get hurt? I'd never been so completely betrayed by my skateboard before. I wasn't giving up so easily, though. Okay, I conceded. I just get the feeling that you're going to disappear when the summer's over, and all this would have been for nothing, even if it is just friends. It's not like that, she explained. I just want my life to run away my way. Okay, I said, and we made our way through the hall to our afternoon classes. After class that day, Sarah and I spent the bouncy back seat drive home on the bus to going over it, mostly because I wasn't satisfied with no, just because it was the answer. Look, it's not like I don't want to go with you. I know it'll be sweet-tasting poison that we feel the effects of later, she said. I think you're being a little over-dramatic with the poison thing, I said. I'm not a hazardous material waiting for you to drink. I know, but we haven't even been on a date. And if I had my perfect world, we wouldn't even though it sucks. I know, but we haven't even been on a date, and if I had my perfect world, we wouldn't even, though it sucks. She struggled even with the thought of her situation, and it showed every sentence about it. Why don't I take you on one then? Just dinner between friends, I offered. Then it won't be ruining prom night, and we will be enjoying something we've done before. We danced and we dated. She paused for a long time, enough to let the kid off at the long winding driveway, and she leaned in and whispered, her voice barely making noises as she tried to end the conversation. How are you going to take me on a date, Chris? She asked. Do you even have a car? Or a license? She wasn't being mean, and she didn't mean the words that didn't hurt. She was right. I could be a Casanova reborn and not have a chance of taking any number of girls out on a date out here. Every single place worth going meant a half-hour drive or more to get anywhere. Growing up in the city meant an almost never-ending sea of options for dinners and coffee, favorite pizza joints, and new hipster restaurants to try, and at the bare minimum a public transportation system to get you there. Here, if you wanted to go on a date, you needed a car. And all I had was an Ontario learner's permit. So, chapter 23, hope you like it. The link for the book is in the description below, and we will talk to you guys later.